All right, we're about to jump into a little medical mystery, but here's the twist. All of our clues are going to be hidden inside the grammar of the Finnish language. We're going to follow a traveler named Martin, and together, we'll see if we can figure out just what is wrong with him. So here's the setup. Martin's been on the road forever. He grabs a late-night meal from a street vendor, and what do you know? The next morning, he feels terrible. The number one suspect? Food poisoning, right? It seems obvious. But the most obvious answer isn't always the right one.
To really get to the bottom of this, we need to rewind. Let's go all the way back to the beginning, to when our weary traveler first arrived.
So picture it. Martin has been driving for hours and hours. He finally pulls over, steps out of his Jeep, and yeah, he's exhausted for sure, but he's also feeling pretty good. He's content. He's finally made it. And right here, not even 5 minutes into our story, Finnish grammar drops our very first clue. To say he is tired, you use the verb on, which just means is. Simple enough, it's a state of being. But for hunger, the whole structure changes. You say hänellä on nälkä, which literally translates to he has hunger. See the difference? It's not something he is, it's a sensation he has. Tuck that little distinction away, it's going to be important. So it's late, and he has hunger. He spots a food stall and gets some api with buñuelos. Now, this little detail feels pretty significant, doesn't it? It seems to point us right back to our original theory. Okay, let's fast forward to the next morning. This is where our real mystery kicks into gear. So, the next day arrives, and things have definitely taken a turn. Martin feels bad. The Finnish expression for this is just wonderfully direct. Hän voi huonosti. You could translate it as he is badly, or he's feeling unwell. That contentment from the night before, totally gone. Let's lay out the clues, detective style. 1, he feels tired. 2, his head is aching. And 3, and this is a big one, he has nausea. Hear that again. Not he is nauseous, but he has nausea. Just like hunger, it's a feeling he possesses, not a state he's in. The clues are piling up, and of course, just like us, Martin is connecting the dots in what seems like the most logical way. He is absolutely convinced that dinner from that street stall is to blame for all this. So, convinced he's got a nasty case of food poisoning, Martin makes his way down to the hotel reception to try and get some help. The receptionist sees him, tells him breakfast is ready, but then she pauses. She looks at him, really looks at him, and you can tell she sees something's not right. So she asked him this very specific, very perceptive question. And this, right here, is the turning point. She doesn't just ask, how are you? She asks, virkoko hän hyvin. She asks if he is well. And that tiny little 2-letter suffix at the end of the verb, the ko, that's the key that's about to unlock this whole thing. So, let's break down this crucial piece of evidence. This ko suffix is an amazing little grammatical tool. In Finnish, if you want to ask a yes or no question, you just tack ko, or its cousin ko, right onto the verb. So, voi hyvin is a statement, he is well. But voiko hyvin becomes a question, is he well? Or, in this context, if he is well. So Martin, of course, answers no, he is definitely not well. And he tells her everything, the tiredness, the headache, the nausea, he basically hands her the entire case file. And with that final piece of information, our brilliant receptionist instantly cracks the case. Now here's where Martin realizes he's been on the completely wrong track. The receptionist doesn't look concerned about food poisoning. She's not rushing to call a doctor. She smiles. She understands that the sensations Martin has, the nausea, the headache, combined with the state he is in, tired, they aren't pointing to a bad meal. Nope, they're pointing somewhere else entirely. She just calmly tells him to go back to his room and get some rest. It's not the street food. What he's experiencing is something completely different. He has
vuoristotauti,
which translates to mountain sickness, also known as soroche. That long drive wasn't just tiring, it was a drive up, way up in altitude. The headache, the nausea, the fatigue, those weren't clues for food poisoning at all. They were the classic textbook signs of his body struggling with the thin air. And just like that, mystery solved. So how cool is that? We solved the whole thing. Now let's recap the awesome linguistic tools from our Finnish detective kit that helped us get the right answer. So here are the big takeaways. First, Finnish makes this really cool distinction between sensations you have, like nausea, and states you are, like being tired. Then there's that super useful -go suffix, the key to asking if questions. And of course, our final answer. Vuoristohatauti is mountain sickness. The language wasn't just telling the story here, it was actually the tool we used to solve it. And that kind of leaves us with a fun question to think about, doesn't it? I mean, in English, we say, I am hungry, but I have a headache. Why the difference? What does that little choice of words say about how we think about these feelings? Looking at our own language through the lens of another one really shows you just how much meaning is hiding in the words we use every single day.